Yes, guys, good morning. Kenny Finds and Flips here again today. I hope you're all keeping well. Tomorrow is the eBay Open. I'm quite excited. I've never been to one. I've been to the road shows, you know, the one at Murrayfield. That was quite good. But from what I hear, the eBay Open's like the road shows on steroids. So a lot of people go in. It'd be good to meet some folk, listen to some talks, free lunch. Apparently there was a free bar last year as well, so that's the real reason I'm going. Anyway, it's in Birmingham, so it's a bit of a drive. So it's Tuesday, the road show's on Wednesday. It's 7:45 in the morning, so I need to get from sort of central belt of Scotland down to Birmingham, which is about 4.5, 5 hour drive, probably closer to 5 with it being rush hour coming up soon. However, I'm not just going to drive for 5 hours. Went into Chat GPT, is that what it's called? You know what I mean. I was like, where can I stop and go charity shopping? So it's giving me a route. First stop is Carlisle, and then it's a place called Kendal, and then funnily enough, Lancaster was third. Now, if you remember when we went down to Liverpool, I went to Lancaster, and I went round the charity shops. They weren't amazing, to be fair, but there was a good, if I remember correctly, a pound shop. So I'll be going into that again. Anyway, it breaks up the driving, doesn't it? And it gives me an excuse to go charity shopping. So yeah, I suppose you're coming along with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to video the Open because I don't want to have that pressure needing to take up my camera and video. I just want to go and speak to people, enjoy myself. But I'm going to video the journey down and you're going to come with me. So see you in a second. So we have arrived in Carlisle. And to be honest, I've probably been here about an hour already. But you need a disc. You need a disc to park anywhere, and I couldn't find a disc anywhere. But finally got a disc. So now we can go charity shopping. So yeah, we'll see in a second. Also, where I got the disc was a cafe called the Vinyl Cafe. So it sold vinyls and it sold coffee. Haven't tasted said coffee yet. Nice enough. Tastes like any black coffee I've ever had. So check out the Vinyl Cafe if you're ever in Carlisle, because she was really nice. So we're coming up to the first one, cancer research. Let's see what we can find.
Simply chat to us today or visit our website www.oaktreeanimals.org.uk.
Bernardo's. Over 2 floors. Yeah, so that's Carlisle down, and it was actually alright to be fair. My disc parking was running out. There was a couple other charity shops that I wanted to hit up. There was like an Age UK, and there was a Salvation Army that I wanted to go to. Didn't quite get a chance. I could have supposed moved to a different area and then reset the disc, but I also kind of want to be down in Birmingham by a decent time. It's now 11:30, so off to Kendal next. But Carlisle, decent. A lot of the stuff is quite expensive to be fair. That Bernardo's, I've never been in a Bernardo's like that before. It was massive. It was over 2 floors, and I've never seen so many Marks and Spencer shirts in my life. but did get a Stan Ray jumper. Now, I know the Stan Ray work trousers, they do really well. Never had a jumper, so I don't know about the jumpers. I just picked it up. And then there was a Stussy windbreaker, which I picked up as well. I think it was like £12 or something like that. That was a sort of gamble, because there was no, I suppose with Stussy, you wanted to kind of be a bit wacky and wild. It was very, very standard. So, I don't know, there was no like, you couldn't tell it was Stussy. So we'll see if that does all right. And then there was a, surprisingly, in the first charity shop I went to, a Celtic top, but it was like one of the old NTL ones, the yellow ones. So they will hopefully do quite well. I didn't look that up either, I just knew it was £5. You know what I mean? That's a safe bet. And then I got Carlisle United shirt as well, which again I didn't look up, but it was a tenner, so I paid up a little bit. If it's not worth money, I've got a collection of like football gear, so it'll just get added to that. It's not an issue. But yeah, on to Kendal. See you there. Here we are in Kendal, small little town, south of Kyle, on our way down to Birmingham obviously. A few charity shops, so we're going to check them out. Check out the Bernardos. HUK. Let's check it out. Tell you what, this is a good little town, but it's filled with charity shops. Not too much to pick from, but I'm going to get back to the car now, because to be honest, I'm getting a little bit fed up. So back to the car, and then I'll into this one first, I suppose. So yeah, that was my wee trip in Kendal. Pretty much just a sea of charity shops. Decent, nice little village to be fair. But I'm done. I was going to go to Lancaster, but I think I'm all sourced out now. So just straight down to Birmingham. So yeah, Kendal was good. It's literally just a village or a town filled with charity shops. It's great. I wish I'd, like, if I'd been there before, I would have been able to do it more efficiently and stuff. So it took me a wee while. But got some okay bits, I suppose. Also got another coffee out of a place called Kin. The top's a bit bashed, so I don't actually know how I'm going to drink that. It's too hot. It's far too hot. Oh my god, my hands. But we're just going to assume it tastes just like the other black coffee from before. So I was going to go to Lancaster, right? I'm a bit done. It's 2:15. I've been at it since like obviously like 7:30 or whatever. So yeah, I'm done with sourcing. So I'm just going to drive down to Birmingham, 2.5, 3 hours from here. Which is crazy because I feel like I've been driving for hours. I'll get to the hotel and I'll show you the hall, and then that'll be us. All excited for the eBay Open. Yeah! Driving back from the eBay Open now. Last night was class. It was actually so much fun. Really good to meet some folk. You know, you see them on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, and you feel like you know them, but you've obviously never met a lot of these people. So yeah, everyone was really nice, which is class. So made a stop just to break up the driving again in Wigan. So going to go around a few charity shops in Wigan, see if we can pick up anything. And I'm going to get one of those pies that I got last time I was in Wigan, because they were unbelievable. Right, I'm not going to lie, this is the real reason I stopped at Wigan. Galloway's pie. Had one of these last time I came down to Wigan, and they are unbelievable. So I'm going to scran this and then I'm going to get back to Scotland. Anyway, so we're now back. It's now Friday, so I've been back. I got back last night from the eBay Open quite late, like 7ish, 8ish. Got stuck in really bad traffic Carlisle way. Was also very hungover. So I didn't leave the hotel until literally 10 minutes before I got kicked out. We've been around the country the last couple of days, haven't we? Started in Glasgow, stopped in Carlisle, went to Kendal, went down to Wigan, went down to Birmingham, spent a couple of nights in Birmingham, which was great, as I say. Then, on the way back, stopped in Wigan, stopped in Penrith, back to Glasgow. So, yeah, let me show you what I got. You'll have seen some things in the video. Not everything you'll have seen. So first off the bat, this is in no particular order, and I can't really remember what I got, to be fair, so it might be a nice surprise for me. These St Michael corduroy trousers, women's, but they're brand new with tags. Now obviously St Michael's was discontinued in the late 90s, early 2000s, so any St Michael's piece, well, I think they've done reruns, right, that say St Michael's, but it's obvious what that is. So 99% of the St Michael's that you'll find in a charity shop is actually now officially vintage. So to get something new with tags is pretty cool. Sort of flared, kinda baggy. Yeah, comfort fit. They've got these things at the bottom that go on your feet. Yeah, not too sure how much I'm going to list them for. However, they were £3.99, so I'm almost 100% certain that my money is safe in that. This Pachamama fleece, this was in Penrith, so one of the last stops, £15. Looking at it, so the jumpers, the Pachamama jumpers do very, very well. I couldn't get signal in the shop that I was in, so I just kind of took a gamble, to be honest. Turns out the vests, like this, aren't as strong. Now my money is safe. I'm probably going to double up, but some of them were only like £45. So yeah, if I can put it on Vinted and get like £35 and make 20 quid on it, happy days, but it's a good chance it's going to sell on eBay, you know what I mean? Fat face wax jacket, £6, size 10. Yeah, self-explanatory really. This is a Duchamp, how do you say it? Shirt. Maybe paid a bit too much for this. I thought it would maybe do a little better than it did. Than the comps are saying. $4.99 this was, but it's a nice floral print. Can't imagine it would kick about for too long. This was $6.99, but I think it'll do quite well as well. It's just fat face, but it's the sort of design and stuff. I'm really starting to pick up more women's wear. I'm really like putting some effort into sort of researching and stuff. So I'm going to make mistakes on women's wear. Kind of just going off style at the moment. And if there's like cashmere stuff and stuff like that, I'll pick that up. But slowly learning. Now these were interesting. Ralph Lauren board shorts. I've never seen Ralph Lauren make board shorts before. But they were £4. Obviously we're now out of season. This is a Jewels polo shirt, right? Now, a lot of Jewels stuff isn't worth picking up, but these sort of polo shirts I'm almost certain are. I've had one before and it's got like the embroidery and stuff like that, elephant polo, and a big 3 on the back. So this is £3.50. 2XL as well, nice size. This is one of the better pickups from the charity shopping, to be fair. Mountain Hardware jacket, size small. It was a tenner, so did pay up, but it's Mountain Hardware, so should do relatively good. It does have a mark here, but I'm pretty sure that's going to come out in the wash. Almost certain it will. Again, maybe another gamble, maybe paid a bit too much for this, but it's a Nike Tech fleece, but it's a camo one, so I don't know how the camo ones do. So you can obviously, like a plain grey or black one, you can get like £25 for it. Don't know if the camo ones will do as strong or if they will do better, but yeah, should be fairly safe. Yeah, this was quite cool, to be fair. This is Fred Perry, size XL. It's on a green label, so one of the older ones. It's just a jumper. a nice jumper, to be fair. And again, just another Fred Perry jumper XL. Is a modern one, this one, but it was the same price, £8. So for the basic one, probably £20-25 I would imagine, and then the sort of older vintagey one, I'll have to do my research, but you'll see comps as always. Poetry, like as I say, I'm trying to do my research on brands, etc. This is poetry. Now I've seen on Instagram people picking up poetry, so I don't. Oh, I think there's a big stain across this. I don't know if you can really like here. Can you see that? I don't know if the camera will pick that up. I don't know if a wash would get rid of that. I don't actually know if it is a stain or if it's like the fabric or... Anyway, if it's a stain, that's a complete waste of money, but it was £7. This Adidas, again. The issue, when I went to Penrith, right, there was no... I couldn't get any signal whatsoever. But it's just a basic sort of Adidas zip-up. However, I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if that means it's like a special run or whatever. But yeah, it was cheap enough, to be fair, so the money again is safe. How much was it? $7.50. So if it's not a special run, yeah, I'll put it on Vinted and get like £12 to £15 on it. So this was a gamble, to be fair. This Stan Ray jumper. Now Stan Ray do workwear clothes and sort of they're like a hipstery brand almost. So if you can get the sort of trousers, quite similar to Carhartts I suppose and stuff like that, they do well. But I don't know about jumpers in all honesty. There's a lot of I don't knows in here, but sometimes you need to take some risks. Carlisle, it says on here, just a Rohan Harrington jacket. It was a tenner, so money's definitely safe in that. It's the Rohan Air Light Harrington. Now this, another gamble. Hopefully at least one of these gambles pay off. It's a Stussy jacket, extra large, grey, nylon jacket. So just the fact that Stussy gives it value. However, there's no like branding or anything that would say it was Stussy, and I feel like sometimes that's why people buy Stussy, you know what I mean? So it is definitely real. It's got all the labels and the old checkout, etc. But yeah, whether this is a desirable piece, I don't know. Purely because it has no Stussy branding on it. Fat Face Airly, size 14, women's, £8.50. They're not the highest of sellers, but they go quickly, so you can't complain. This is a good one as well, to be fair. £13.95 this is a sea salt jacket, but it's one of the more expensive ones. So some sea salt you get is very like generic, and you'll get like 20, 25 at a push pound for a jacket. But then some sea salt you get is quite expensive. So this is the Cloudburst Mac. And I saw solds of about 60. So that was, yeah, that's obviously quite good. This, probably one of my, don't know if favourite's the right word, but one of the more surprising pickups, certainly in England. So this is an old Celtic top Umbro, probably about early 2000s, 2004-ish, I don't know offhand. It screams Henrik Larsson. I don't know if Henrik Larsson actually played in this kit or if he was gone by then, to be fair, but around that sort of era. £5.50 this was, which is an absolute bargain, and it's all real. So to get that in England of all places is quite surprising. Unsure if that's getting sold or if it's getting added to the collection. And again, this is less surprising because it's the local team. You know, that's just the sort of stuff I would expect to find in Carlisle. Carlisle United top, with Stobart's Cabrini. How much was that? It was a tenner. But that's usually, without looking up football tops, if I see a football top of like a decent, half decent team with a half decent following or a really nice football top, £10 is what I would pay without necessarily looking it up, because normally your money's safe. If it's any more than that, then I would look it up to check the value, but yeah, so that's probably on the limit. Did have a quick comp, I think this is from 2011 or something like that, so a little bit of age to it, and it isn't pretty much perfect condition. So we'll see how we get on with that one. If not, again, add to the collection, not an issue. Last but not least, Duchamp again, a wool jacket, £9. So this, yeah, typically this would do really well, however there's a wee bit of damage just to the inside pocket. So I'd have to, yeah, this one here, sorry, the like interior here. Obviously make that clear. The rest of the jacket's fine. It's got a little tiny like mark to the end of the sleeve, I noticed. But I think I started rubbing it in the charity shop, so it'll be what I'm about. So yeah, I'll just reduce the price slightly, which is a shame about that interior bit, because it would, yeah, you could probably get a decent amount. I thought there was another mark, but it's just a bit of dust. So yeah, that's that. Crammed with stock again, which is, I suppose, obviously with me finishing up my job soon and this becoming my full-time gig, I suppose having the stock there at the moment is quite convenient, okay? Because it means I don't need to go out and spend, and I've got time to build listings, and I've got time to build the store, which is ideal. So I could probably, as soon as I quit my job, just hold fire on sourcing at the moment, and then, you know, just take the money from the sales essentially. I don't need to put necessarily too much back into the business. Obviously there's just running costs and stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, at the open as well, quite interesting, I had a conversation with someone, Carbook Chris, on a video that Monster Lister AI or something along those lines. I think when I was having the conversation with him, I called it something different, like 3 times. Anyway, I've got a call booked with them at some point next week, just to discuss Monster Lister, or Listing Monster, whatever it's called, and see if it would be of benefit. He says it's 50p a listing. However, obviously I'm doing 5 to 10 a day just now. When I go full time, I would realistically want to be doing 20 listings a day. So that's a tenner a day. It's £300 a month. It's a fair bit. But if it saves me a lot more time, who knows? I'll let you know how I get on, okay? I'll let you know how I get on. If it doesn't save me that much more time, and I'm spending a tenner a day, £300 a month on it, unfortunately it's not worth it. If it does save me a fair bit of time, and then I could potentially, instead of doing 20, do 30, do 40, and then it becomes £600 a month. But you get what I'm saying. If I can list more, I'll sell more, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Anyway, yeah, I don't know how structured this video is, because footage will be all over the place, but enjoy it. If you've got this far, leave me a comment, say hello, tell me what your favourite type of food is, or if actually you went to the eBay Open, tell me what food you got, because I got the beef brisket and it was really good. So was the tiramisu, but what did you get? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Bye bye.